Tonight, the cruise ship MV Hondius is docked off the West African nation of Cape Verde, officials revoking permission for passengers to disembark. The ship set sail from Argentina more than 4 weeks ago, promising its 150 passengers a journey to several exotic places, culminating in Antarctica. Now, passengers are stuck on the ship. Medical investigators believe 3 passengers have died from the Hantavirus. 3 other cases are suspected. Hantavirus is a rare respiratory disease that can kill up to 50% of those infected. It's the same illness that killed actor Gene Hackman's wife last year.
This really is a detective story. So they're going to have to figure out, okay, where was the boat? Where were the people? When could they possibly have been infected with rodent droppings or urine or saliva?
The World Health Organization is helping to evacuate passengers that are showing symptoms.
Right now, the World Health Organization is saying there's no big risk to the general public. But of course, you're always going to play it safe. You're going to be as cautious as possible and get as much information as possible.
And Dr. Lepouk says this virus is not like the norovirus, which can rapidly spread on a cruise ship and really wreak havoc. The World Health Organization is working to see if this virus is the strain that can be passed from person to person. Tony.
Tom, thank you very much. And good evening. What began as a cruise of a lifetime, a weeks-long luxury journey to the edge of the Southern Ocean, has instead turned into a major medical mystery and an international crisis tonight. 3 people are dead, 4 more are ill, and nearly 150 others stranded on board the ship, where they will stay potentially for months until investigators can clear them to get off. For now, medical workers seen here boarding the ship in full protective gear are telling people to stay in their cabins as they zero in on a potential cause, a rare form of the Hantavirus believed to have spread person to person on board the ship. Tom Hansen is tracking this story for us. Tom, good evening. So many questions. What are you learning?
Hey there, Tony. Good evening to you. Well, this cruise liner offered passengers a chance to stop at remote, untouched locations, regions where Hantavirus is also common in the wildlife. And now the World Health Organization tells CBS News the infections could have possibly started during one of those nature excursions.
Tonight, the 3 remaining passengers showing symptoms believed to be linked to the deadly Hantavirus are expected to be airlifted off the MV Hondius. The Spanish government says the ship, with 147 passengers on board, could sail to the nearby Canary Islands for a full disinfection.
There are no additional symptomatic people on board. That said, the situation is being closely monitored.
New video shows officials from the World Health Organization boarding the ship in PPE, there to monitor for any new cases. Communal spaces otherwise sit empty as passengers enter their 3rd night in quarantine. According to the company managing the cruise, so far 7 passengers have fallen ill. 3 of those passengers have died, and another was hospitalized in South Africa, all of them suspected of having the Hantavirus. Health officials believe the passengers were infected off the ship, which made several stops on islands up the South American coast. Symptoms can take up to a month to show up.
What we our working assumption is that it is the Andes virus. It could not be, but we're assuming that it is until we determined otherwise.
The Andes strain of Hantavirus can spread from person to person and is only found in regions of South America. The Dutch cruise liner left Argentina on April 1st and has been moored off the West African island of Cape Verde since Sunday. The virus is most commonly spread through exposure to rodent droppings, but a representative for the World Health Organization on Cape Verde tells CBS News no rodents have been found on the ship, pointing to traps on board the vessel that appear untouched. Medical experts believe the risks are low for the outbreak to spread.
How big of a concern is this for the global community?
The potential to spread beyond an outbreak is very small.
And the voyage to the Canary Islands is expected to take 3 to 4 days. Health officials will decide if further quarantine is necessary. And if that's the case, Tony, a WHO official says the quarantine could last for up to 2 months.
It's a long time. Tom, thank you very much. Good evening. Where did it begin and who's been exposed? Those are among the big questions tonight as investigators race to control a deadly outbreak of Hantavirus, the first ever recorded on a cruise ship. That ship right now somewhere off the coast of Africa on its way to Spain's Canary Islands. All of it at the request of the World Health Organization. But the point of infection may have been Argentina, where investigators say the leading theory is that a couple caught the disease before boarding, exposed to rodents during a bird watching tour that included a stop at a landfill. So what now for the more than 140 people still on board that ship, including 17 Americans? Tom Hansen joins us now with the latest on the investigation. Tom, good evening. What do we know?
Tony, good evening to you. We have learned from local reports that late tonight, one of two planes evacuating sick passengers had to make an emergency landing on Gran Canaria Island due to a malfunction with the patient's isolation bubble. They are waiting a replacement equipment to arrive before they can take off.
Tonight, the Dutch Foreign Ministry says those 3 passengers believed to be infected with the deadly Hantavirus will receive specialized medical treatment in Europe after a high-stakes evacuation off the MV Hondius. Now a debate is raging over what to do with the nearly 150 remaining passengers, just days away from reaching the Canary Islands.
Quiero manifestar mi profundo rechazo.
Some local leaders there are rejecting the ship's arrival, adding to the concern a growing number of reported cases, 8 in total. The World Health Organization confirmed the infection of a Swiss national who left the Hondius cruise liner in late April. The UK's health agency says 2 more British passengers are self-isolating from potential exposure. And a contact case involving a Frenchman who was not on board the ship but flew on a plane with one of the infected passengers, according to the French Ministry of Health. The Dutch cruise ship departed Argentina on April 1st, headed for South Georgia Island. 5 days later, a Dutch passenger developed a respiratory illness. On April 11th, he became the outbreak's first death at sea. The man's wife disembarked on April 24th and flew from St. Helena to Johannesburg, where she died 2 days later. A second male passenger was evacuated on April 27th and flown to Johannesburg. And on May 2nd, a third passenger died on the ship.
The atmosphere was tense.
Ruhi Sinet was a passenger on the cruise. He recorded this video of the captain.
One of our passengers sadly passed away last night.
Following the captain's announcement, Sinet said the passengers on board continued with social activities.
He said it was due to natural causes and we are not infectious. This was relaxing at the time, but it was also misguiding us.
Nonetheless, he decided to get off, along with dozens more passengers.
An ocean-wide expedition which operates the cruise gave us the following statement, and I quote, "This onboard announcement was made on April 12th, 2026. On this date, the cause of death of this individual was unknown." They went on to say proper procedure was followed at that time. Tony?
Tom, thank you very much. We're back with more on that deadly strain of the Hantavirus and first ever outbreak aboard a cruise ship. More than 140 people on board, with 3 deaths among 8 confirmed cases so far. What's the risk to the ship and the wider public? Earlier, I spoke with Dr. Celine Gounder, an infectious disease expert, CBS News medical correspondent, and KFF editor-at-large for public health. Dr. Gounder, thank you very much for being here. We're in a post-COVID world. People are scared. They hear about an outbreak and they're worried. I know you say this is not COVID. Explain to me why.
So this is not COVID. The Andes virus, which is a kind of hantavirus, requires close, prolonged contact between 2 people in order to have transmission. When we've seen this happen in the past, it's been in the context of spouses, that kind of close contact. What makes this really hard to contain is the fact that it's on a ship and the timeline. So you have this long incubation period. You also have a period of time when people can be infectious before they show symptoms.
So we got 140 people on this boat. 17 of them are Americans. How do you deal with that population safely?
Could they, in theory, come home safely? Yes. The risk of spreading this on a flight is very low. They would need to be near a hospital that has a heart-lung bypass machine, because that's what you need when you get really sick with hantavirus. But it is something that we can anticipate that some countries won't want to accept them, right? And this goes back to the Ebola days, 2014, 2015. So these passengers may well need to quarantine on the ship.
That out-of-office message just got a little longer. Dr. Gounder, thank you.